Hello, Foxy Finds here, and welcome back to Foxy Shiny Quest. This week, I went for some evolutions. Let's take a look. First up, we have Monferno. I already caught one a while back, so we evolved this one up to Infernape. This is one of the Pokemon that Ash used on his team, and it was one of his hard hitters. This Pokemon is stylized in a way that takes a lot of inspiration from Journey of the West, which means this Pokemon is basically Goku. I guess this Pokemon having the ability Blaze is sort of like it going Super Saiyan if you overthink it too much. Let's continue with another one of Ash's Pokemon, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur was shown to be a mediator and was keeping the peace for a lot of other Pokemon. May also had a Bulbasaur, but it had a heart shape on its forehead. This Pokemon is part plant, part animal. Bulbasaur is one of the most known Pokemon, since it was the first Pokemon in the Pokédex, a starter of Generation 1, and its evolution had both a Mega and a Gigantamax form. Not to mention, this Pokemon has also been available in a lot of the main series games. Now, why include Bulbasaur, a base stage Pokemon, in a video about evolutions? Simple. I found a second one and evolved it up into Ivysaur. Ivysaur was featured in Super Smash Bros. Brawl as one of the Pokemon that the Pokemon trainer had. Honestly, it was my favorite character in that game and I played quite a bit of it. This family line are based off of frogs with plants growing on their backs. Speaking of animals with things growing out of their backs, next up is Parasect. So, you may think this is the Pokemon, but it's actually this. Yes, that's right. The mushroom is the Pokemon. What you see here is the parasite mushroom's host, which at this point is fully controlled by the mushroom. There is no consciousness left. This Pokemon is able to reproduce the insect portion, and it'll spread its spores on the egg, so that the baby Paras that hatches is infected upon hatching. I'd love to see a regional variant of this family, where the mushroom isn't present, and we get to see maybe a third form that happens when the Parasect is able to evolve without the mushroom infecting it. Next up we have Tinkatuff. This Pokemon uses scrap iron to build its hammers. These shiny forms look like instead of using regular iron, they used rusted iron, but the Pokemon itself is unchanged. This Steel Fairy Pokemon has quite a defensive typing, countering all of its Fairy type weaknesses and bringing it down to just Fire and Ground. And after finding a second one, I was able to evolve this up into Tinkatun. Its hammer is now bigger and heavier than the Pokemon itself. These Pokemon are known to prey on a particular metal bird that we haven't encountered yet. They will use their hammer to hit large rocks into the air, hitting these Pokemon and knocking them down. In Generation 9, when these Pokemon came out, he became a quick fan favorite, being both a powerful Pokemon and having an amazing moveset. Finally, we have Araquanid. This Pokemon is a water spider, and unlike most water Pokemon, it can't breathe air. Yes, most water Pokemon can breathe air, including all the ones that just look like fish. So what does this Pokemon do? Well, it makes itself a water helmet for its head. When I first saw this Pokemon, I felt like it didn't really look like a Pokemon at all. From its eyes, to its size, to the small details on its body, and again the fact that it can't breathe air when all the fish-based Pokemon can. It does keep with Pokemon consistently giving spider Pokemon 6 legs though. I hope you enjoyed seeing these evolutions and Bulbasaur as well. Sometimes I have to play the categorizations a little bit loose based off of what I find, but I do what I can. I wish you all a wonderful week, and happy hunting.